Hi guys, hope everyone is all right. It's me, obviously. Um, Sorry, I'm gonna say sorry straight off the bat. For the poor light. I do have the blinds open, but it's now 10 to 7 and the nights are drawing in, so it's getting darker. So I've got the false light on. So, hmm, not tea. It's Saturday night. It's tiger beer time. Lager. Anyway, I'm a little bit. I'm all over the place today. So. This is a really self-indulgent video, and I may or may not upload it, so we shall see. It depends how well the beer makes me feel. So, last couple of days I have, I'll make it quick, I don't want to bore you, there is Dex involved. I kind of came to the realisation, and this is going to sound really dramatic, and I don't mean it the way it sounds, but that I just didn't feel, I don't know, is authentic the word? Maybe a bit like a maybe I'll go with that. Let's see where it takes us. I've been, as you know, I have bought a lot of decks in my day, which I don't regret any of them. But the more decks I bought, the further and further away I feel I got from what I originally enjoyed about tarot. Like if you go back to some of my earlier videos where I had no idea what I was talking about, with the One of Cups and the Lover's card, I was like, well, this makes no sense. He looks like he's making a choice. Seriously, some of them are cringeworthy. But then when it was such a simpler time before I had my disposable income, which is not so disposable now. So I just had this like moment where I was just like, I'm floundering. That might be a better word, floundering. I'm floundering. I have a deck, and I go through, and I have the motions. I go through the motions. I have a journal. I write down. I put a card. I post stuff on Instagram. If you follow me on Instagram, great. You might know that I don't feel comfortable all the time posting what I feel a meaning of a card is. Half the time that's due to I just don't want people to go, well, that's not what it means. And that might be the case because I've gotten so far removed from everything. That I just felt shut off from it all. So I thought, I went back through some of my old journals, and by journals I mean 2 of them, and had a look at the decks that I used to use the most. So I got all those decks out, because a lot of them I don't. I got out the decks that I used to use the most, that I did the most readings with, because I did a lot of readings for friends and family and friends of friends. I got those decks out. I got decks out that or they had meaning for me, like when I used them, there was always that something. So I got those back out, and decks that I've been too afraid to use because they require some serious study. Sorry, but they require some serious study, and a lot of decks do, and some of them appeal more to me at the moment, others don't, so I picked the ones that did, and some that I haven't even got a clue about. So I thought, get back to basics with the decks that I fell in love with. Use some decks that always felt good and gave me advice, and decks I haven't got a clue about, and let's see where this goes. Sorry, I just had to keep pausing because I'm coughing. So I thought I'd give it a go. I got a lot, to be fair, so I won't go through all of them. Well, I will, but not like in depth. The only deck that I don't have out is the Isis Oracle. I always found that when I used that deck, it was very for me anyway, the messages in the book with how I was feeling always felt very profound. That's just my opinion. That's how I felt. I have several decks that felt that way, and for now that's in my drawer. I'm not looking for profound right now, and you never know, I might find it in some of my older decks, because there's another deck here. Should I just get to the point? So this deck here is also another profound deck. However, I feel a bit more comfortable using it more daily. Every time I use this deck, I feel something. I know something new. There's just magic there when I use this, and the light really doesn't do it justice. But you will have seen this everywhere. This is, oh shit. Sorry, I didn't mean to swear. This is Brian Froud's Fairy Oracle. which, if I'm not mistaken, was my first oracle. I believe my Isis was the second. But yeah, the light is awful. So this deck, every time I've used it, I've always just felt, I don't know, that they're alive. I truly believe in fairies. More than anything, I believe in Brian Froud's fairies. But I don't limit myself to Brian Froud's fairies. That fairies with wings. So yeah, that's one of the first oracle decks that you know, really tugged for me. So I was like, you know, because I have a lot of oracle decks. I have more tarot than oracle, but I still have a lot of oracle decks, and I just didn't feel that I was being served with any of them. So this one comes out because this one has always felt like it had my back. Like, it's a real person. Like, they're people, but they're not. They're better. They're fairies. Fairies are better than people. Okay, so while we're on an oracle deck, this deck was gifted to me by my wonderful friend. Studying. And this is the Messenger Oracle. This also has, it's hard to explain. It always just kind of felt right and wonderful. It's a good thing you're not looking at this deck for the first time, because, you know, don't, because the light in here, no justice. But I always loved this deck. Anytime I used it, I just felt inspired, healed, magical, always. I just felt that way, and then it just got put back in the box, and I stopped using it, and I don't know why. Yeah, look, that's my screen. That's me recording me. Sorry. So I don't know why I put it away, and I am going to see where that takes. And I apologise for the fact that I seem to be pausing a lot and all over the place. I assure you, I'm fine. I just keep dropping everything. I've had a lot of coffee today. So that's the Messenger Oracle. So that was another one that really just, I don't know, made me feel cozy and loved. So that one had to come back out. I don't know why it was put away. So that there too. So who else? This deck, some people drive with it, some people don't drive with it. I certainly drive with it. It is the Wisdom of the Oracle by Colette Baron Reed. Again, this deck used to be my proper go-to deck until the Journey of Love by Alana Fairchild. Alana Fairchild? Yes, I'm sure I'm right. Before that came along, and that was always my go-to deck until it wasn't, and then I stopped using it. And then when I had them both out side by side, I was like, it was this one that got to me first, in the sense of those wonderful messages, that time to reflect, you know, that healing that they are made for. I genuinely believe that's what they're for. Oracle cards are there for healing. I use them for self-healing. My deck that I created for me was for me to look at my own healing. The deck I'm creating at the moment, oh yeah, doing it again, is for healing. So, and I feel, I don't know, there's just, I suppose it feels like the Oracle is speaking to you. It helps that the Oracle's face appears quite a lot. So, you know, clean it up. I mean, those 3 words are so simple, but, you know, they could have 1,000 meanings to whoever is reading them, which is kind of the magic, I think. You know, because it calls you out. We're going off on a real quick tangent. I'll try not to make this video long. Because obviously it always depends on who's reading it. So if I'm just like minding my own business and I shuffle the cards and I get clean it up, you know, and it's kind of like clean it up, you know, you're like, your mind starts to think, yeah, I know what that means. I know what I need to do. And it'll be different for everyone, but it will mean something to nearly everyone, which I think is fascinating. In my opinion, all of this is always in my opinion. Obviously, if you want to debate, let's do a comment. Let's do that. Let's keep it friendly though, yeah. Okay, so who's next? Okay, so this deck I have absolutely never used. You've seen a video of it. I've had it a while. I got it from Borders. No, I didn't. I got it from Blackwell's in Oxford. My husband bought it for me. It is the Chronicle of Destiny fortune cards. So it's Schiffer published, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Which is okay, although I do find some Schiffer decks that the gilding on this is very sharp. Don't know why I exaggerated it like sharp. So it does kind of like cut me. Not enough to like draw blood, but I haven't used this. But the reason I've kept this out, because I've never used it and it doesn't actually mean anything to me. But the reason I got it out is A, because it's different. And when I asked my husband to buy this for me, I had a specific idea for it in mind. I can't remember what that particularly was now, but when I went through it the other day, it really, really just spoke, I think, to my sense of adventure and my sense of child. I don't know why I'm looking at the cards. I know what they look like. Let me show you. So highly glossy, it's Schiffer. But, you know, something magical about, you know, them. And they kind of have that mix of quest, mix of archetypes, and mix of, you know, ooh, it's hard to explain. What do they have a mix of? Like, ooh, guardian of books. So there is that, you know, there is that magical world in these cards. Knighthood, you know, and it's not always going to make sense. The book, I have read the book, and the book is wonderful. I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to roll with them, but for once, this is just going to be for fun. That is also another problem I have. I always seem to take myself far too seriously and forget what fun is. Just in case you're interested, this is the book. And I also keep it in its little box because it's such a pretty box. Are you still with me? You're doing absolutely wonderful. Next up, again, a deck that I have never used. No, that's not true. I used it a couple of times. But this is one of the decks that I'm hoping to use for, you know, something that I've never used before. Let's see how it goes. It's something fun. It's something I don't know because it's not a tarot deck. It is Star plus Gate, a tool for intuition. So, yeah. I'm very intrigued. I haven't, like I said, I've used it a couple of times. I don't know the ins and outs. But I'll show you what the cards look like. It comes with a mat as well, which is so cool. So they're tiny cards. I think I've done an actual video of this. So Star of Laugh. And then on the back it has Star of Laugh, and then it has the player. And it has some more information. The book does seem to be full of information, which is good because that is what I'm going to be solely relying on. Is the book. I imagine eventually I could probably just like use it and get it. Maybe it's a similar in this, not, I don't want to say similar in the sense of like Lenny's because it's clearly not, but you know, with the small and the like the one word and like the robe, you know, and the gate kind of gives, you can't see any of this, kind of gives that impression. So I'm keeping this out. Believe it or not, I actually have quite a few. You might think I've got a lot of decks out. I put more away than I got out, I can assure you. But really the reasoning for that is because, like I said, I want to get back to where I used to be, you know, when I felt more studious with it all, when it was fun, and all that. And there's not really much on my wish list. I currently have a wish for 3 decks, and that's it. One of them's not released until October. One's been out for a while, so that's not going anywhere. And then one I'm getting when I get paid on Monday, which is the surrender cards. They're rock pool. Oh, they're so pretty. So I need those in my life. Next up, I'm not going to open this box. You know it. You know I have a love for it. I posted about it on my Facebook page. I've done many videos about the Voyager Tarot. This is the deck I one day wish if I was a tarot deck creator. Not quite there. Not quite there. I can't draw. You know, this is what introduced me to my love of collage decks and digital decks. It all stems from here. This is what I want to create, but not copying it because that's cheating. So the Voyager Tarot, an old favourite. Loves it. Gotta go with it. Right, so let's speed this up because I don't want to keep you. Ah, fuck it. You can turn off if you're bored. I'm gonna sit over here. And no, I'm not drunk. Have you seen the size of this can? It's titchy. So the next, I'll just show you the boxes. So that is the Merlin Tarot and the Arthurian Tarot. The Arthurian, I may have... The Arthurian Tarot, I may have to get the newer edition because these cards are pretty rubbish. They came to me pretty rubbish. They're sticky, they stick together. A couple of them are damaged, but I want to make sure that it's something that I am invested in before I do. And I've used it a few times, and there's something magical about Caitlin and John working together. I mean, in their own right, they're both awesome, but when they come together, you're like, guys, it's a powerhouse couple. So again, this one is one that I don't really know. But it's been with me for a long time, so I really want to kind of, go there with it. This one actually came out a couple of weeks ago, and there was a dog. Sorry, put me off. This one came out a couple of weeks ago, and it has been amazing for me. I am loving it. Oh, I think it's the same artist, isn't it? The same artist did both. Miranda Gray. Yeah, Miranda Gray did the artwork for both. This one I've had years now, not like years, but I got it when I was first in Bristol. Watched the video, I think I did it, and I was really disappointed with the pips. But do you know what? Last couple of weeks we've actually bonded, and that's why it's here, because I felt that we had that bond, and for that reason it was kind of between this and the Da Vinci Tarot, because I had such a bond with that deck for so long, but I still struggled to read it. Every pull was hard. So for that reason, this one isn't hard for me. Not that that's necessarily a good or bad thing, but there you go. So this one came. Guys, we've seriously got some more decks to go through, so I will try my best to speed this up. The next one, I got this tarot deck, Wild Unknown. It's the first edition. It came with the guidebook. I can't find the guidebook anywhere. I don't know where it's gone. It doesn't matter that it's the first edition. I'm just telling you that so you know. Joking. It is though. I haven't used it. I brought it because I'm a sheep. Literally, everyone's like, "Oh my god, you need this deck." I was like, "No, I don't like it. It's not for me. It's well done. I'm not saying that." I don't know. It was on eBay, and it was like, "What did I pay for this one?" I don't know. I think it was like £21, including the guidebook, £2.99 delivery. I was like, "Buy." And then I got it, and I was like, "Finally, let's see what the crack's about." And I've never actually given it a chance. And I'm saying that, I don't mind. It's true. And that's because the images never appealed to me. The hard work that went behind them, of course, the woman's amazing, but they just never appealed to me. But now I'm like, I've got to give them a chance. So that's why they're here. Never used, don't know what will be, but they need a chance. So there you go. Okay, let's steamroll this. The Warwick Tarot. I have the book. I have the Czech version of the deck. I bought it secondhand off of eBay. I do know that you can buy the Warwick Tarot from the Czech publisher, I believe. But yeah, so this deck, we've kind of had hits and misses together, and I'm particularly interested because it's different in some of the cards to the Rider-Waite. When I do a search on it, it comes up as a Toth inspired deck on Eclectic Tarot. I don't know whether that's true. I didn't keep my Toth deck. I gave it away. I think I might buy another one. To see the comparison. But yeah, so this one, we've had some good, we've had some bad. I want to see where it goes. So yeah. Oh, and this is the one with the covered up nudity. So yeah, there's that one. And by the way, I'm not saying that this is what it's limited to. This is just me trying to get back to basics. That's a lot of basics, but whatever. You know what I mean? I know I have a lot of decks, so you know. This deck as well. When I went back through my journal, I didn't take any of the others out, but I'm going to show you the Rider-Waite Smith in case you don't know what it looks like. Went back in my journal and I read a lot for other people with this deck, and it's gorgeous cardboard. It's like the Wild Unknown, just a wee bit thinner, so it's proper cardboard. And I know if I play my cards right, I can break this in, so it feels like butter and like a used deck in my hand. So yeah, so. And now, seriously, I have got so many to still show you. This deck was the first deck that I ever wrote down all my thoughts on the meanings. And it's Tarot Mucha, or Mucha, I say mucha. But yeah, I loved this deck for so long. I remember making my husband buy it, and it came in that gorgeous box, and it's by Lois Scarabeo. I think possibly cementing my love for them. I think I have more of their decks than anyone else's, but I'm not about to count. So I knew when I started this process that this was a deck that was going to have to come out. I suppose I put it away because I was like, oh no, I'm past that now. And I'm not past it at all. If that was the case, you know, half these decks I wouldn't have, because a lot of them, not these ones, but a lot of them, I have a Rider-Waite-Smith inspired. So this one had to come out for that reason. This was one of the decks I read most with, and it just felt right, you know, so I had to get back to that. So we had that one. This deck hasn't gone away, you know. I am that person with a favourite tarot deck, and you all have to see it every time. Modern Spellcasters is just my ultimate. I freaking adore this deck. Do I use it as much as I used to? No, hence why it's here. But I think you can have a favourite deck and not use it all the time. It is certainly one of my most battered decks, thanks to the dog chewing the devil card. Yeah. And then we have a giant pause. We have the Glastonbury Tarot. Again, one of the first decks that I started to read with, especially for others. I found the deck quite simplistic, and I think that's why I put it away. I started to buy more, I started to see more. But when it really comes down to it, it's a very direct deck. Therefore, I had to get it back out. It felt magical using it. And I don't necessarily think that's much to do with the fact that it's placed in Glastonbury, although that is awesome. It's just Lisa just knows, you know. There's so much she knows, and you can feel it. I probably sound like a right dribble. The next Osho. This deck I love. Again, a gift from my friend Andrea. I put this away purely because I was like, oh, it's not tarot. Oh, it doesn't know. I know that it is. I know that it is. I've gone through the cards, and I've paired them with the Rider-Waite-Smith, and yes, it is very much tarot. But you know, I was like, when I look at a Three of Cups, I want to see Three of Cups. Well, it's there, and it was my own pigheadedness. Yeah, pigheadedness getting in the way, so it's back out. So there's a lot that's back out. Sorry, I got so many. Okay, and who's up next? No, we've done that one. See, that's the problem. You give a girl half a can of Tiger beer, and she's throwing sheets to the wind. And this deck, I've had a while, and I've never used it ever. Maybe once, I don't know. It's the Anna K. I bought this used on eBay. It came with the book, came in a bag. I can't remember where the bag is. It's probably housing a different deck. But I've got this one out because it's the cardstock I like. That's why the Albano had to go back in the cupboard. I was like, I can't. That is laminated beyond. Laminated within an inch of its life, I believe, is something I used to say. So that is why I got this out, because I wanted a deck that I could feel, and it's Rider-Waite-Smith based. So I didn't think that I was kind of cheating. I was like, you know, we've never had a relationship. I'm not really gonna. I don't feel that I'm going to learn a new system from it, but some of the cards are depicted differently from what I'm used to, so I'm going to pick up something new. That's my theory. Anyway. And then, finally, there is a couple more decks, but I'm not going to, because you patient people have almost held on to the half-an-hour mark. That's amazing. But the last deck, and this deck is a deck that I know is stunning, and I have had for a while. Again, gifted. Thank you. And I have never used. I've been too scared. I'm too scared to see what it might show me. Too scared to sit down and learn and find out that actually it's hard to learn. It's the Marielle. So yeah. Along with a few others, I've just showed you that card. Along with a few others, it's a deck that I'm just like, it's so massive. That artwork is just everything. I don't even know how I'm going to. I'm going to try. So yeah, I really appreciate you if you've watched this rambling video of, you know, my own little self-indulgence about trying to get back to me. As simple as that. Yeah, I really want to thank you. Feel free to leave any comments. Try to keep them nice. I can't take it. I'm joking, do what you want. Oh, and the last two, while I'm at it, is the Light Seed Oracle and Paulina Tarot. New in my life, amazing. Old in my life, never used it. Yeah, we've got a little thing going on, so she's out. So all of my decks that were down here, in that corner, they are now next to me. So anyway, thank you for watching, and I'm hoping to be back soon with some more videos. But yeah, keep it real, people. Speak soon.